Hi everybody, it's me. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing the rose garden walkthrough that's going to be located right next to the entrance to my waterfalls at the beginning. So welcome to my island on Taylor, and let's get started. First we're going to see some items that I had already placed as I had planned out this area. This is the area that we're going to be working with, that I'm going to put in the rose garden and my iron garden table for, those days where we just want to sit and relax. So again, like I said, these are some of the items that I had already picked out. I want to do some lanterns and some fencing because I made some spaces just to kind of help me go through, so I don't have to go clear through all the way around, which is what we'll have to do at the end. I also have my roses nearby, and I also have my bushes and my trees and some of the roses already in my pocket that I want to be able to use in this space. So the first thing I need to do is start my island designer, and this way we can do some custom designs and some dirt in this space. I want this entire space to look like a garden dirt walkway. So now that that's up, I can get that started. And I decided I wanted to do the dark soil, which is just called the dark dirt path on your island designer for this space, just to give it that nicely fresh new look is what it looks like to me. I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. So I'm just going to kind of speed things up a little here so we can get through this, because like I said, I'm covering the whole area with this dirt. So it's just going to take a few minutes just to get through this entire area. And I absolutely love the roses on this game. They're one of my favorite flowers besides the lily, which you can get the lilies when you reach 5 stars on your island. That pops up somewhere throughout the island. So if you've reached 5 stars and you haven't seen your lily, you need to go and search for that. And if you're curious on how I did the waterfalls, make sure that you check out my previous video where I show you how I made those waterfalls, plus the long bridge extension that's in between the two waterfalls. And you see up there on the top of the screen, you can see actually one of those lilies that I'm going to be moving into the garden. And I have my pathway and my bridges that goes from my city side to my farming countryside, which you'll see in a future episode as we're going through step by step on how I completed my island. And we're just going to keep going through here and making sure that we get the entire pathway. This is the part that takes, I think, the longest of the whole video. Even speeding it up, it seems to take the longest. Again, as I think I have said in a previous video, it'd be nice if we could make bigger selection areas when we're working on these big areas like this, where we're going to be like, select this area and please customize this whole area like this. I think that'd be a really nice upgrade that maybe we'll get here in the future. What would you guys like to see in your upgrade? Let me know in the comments what you guys would love to have added to the Animal Crossing New Horizons game. I would love to know. So we're almost done with doing the dirt. There we go, it's done. And so now we're going to start working on adding the details. So I wanted to do the bushes as like a hedge next to the waterfall instead of doing a fencing. So I'm just going to go through and add all those bushes to the hedge to make the hedge of it. Doesn't need to be really in any order. I kind of try to stick with, the same colors repeated, but it doesn't matter. They all bloom at different times. So I just wanted to kind of give that variation of different bushes that maybe that's going to bloom in different times. That way, maybe hopefully we'll have flowers throughout the entire seasons as the game changes its season. And I wanted to add the trees because what garden isn't complete unless you have shade? And, the trees, especially when the pink blossoms appear, that is amazing look for it. So I planted my first tree and then I realized it's going to block all my other area if I do all the trees now. So I decided to start at the top and work my way down. And the first thing that I want when I come in, there's my chickens. You'll see them coming up soon in a video on how I made that. If you're interested, make sure you keep up on my subscribe to my page so you can see all those updates. So I grabbed my lilies, and I'm not sure why I grabbed those white roses, and then I grabbed the other lily, like I said, and I'm just going to add those as like the entrance to the rose garden. And these are the only flowers that are not roses in the garden. It just kind of gives them that little pop of specialty, of their importance, like that, because they are important. So then I'm going to add the other one. And then we're going to, I'm going to start working on the custom design, which I will have that custom design code that on the bottom. This is not my custom design. This is one I had found that I loved, and I want to give credit where credit is due. So I will definitely have that custom design code in the bottom. If you're new to this and you don't know what I'm talking about when I say custom design, these are ones that you can design on your own, or that other people design that you can use. And you can go to your Able Sister shop and use the computer in the back of the shop to search for these codes and be able then to use them. And you can do it through your Able clothing app on your phone, or through these custom design when you're using your island designer. So now I'm just getting my lanterns because I want to make sure that there's plenty of night light in here as well. So I want to be able to have that as well. But first I'm going to place my table at the end of my pathway and my chair right next to it, so that way I can stare out to the water. Okay, so now that I have my table and my chair placed, I'm going to start working on the other side of the passage. And I want to be able to put lanterns and some more bushes in between the trees. And I had decided that I want 2 bushes and a lantern in between each tree. And I decided that it'd be prettier and just flow better for me if I did a bush, lantern, and then bush, which is what I'm working on now. And it's just easier, I found, if I dig holes, but you don't need to dig holes to place them, which you can see I did. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's just if I think I'm going to have difficulties with it, then I do that. So now I'm just grabbing the rest of my lanterns in my pocket. That way I can be able to place all those spots. So I'm just going to speed it up a little bit as we get all these lanterns and all the bushes placed throughout this, along with all the trees. And I'm hoping that I have it all leveled out right, that when I get to the bottom, it should end perfectly with a tree. I forgot to place a bush, so I had to pick up that lantern again and then place my lantern back down and then the bush. And this is where I realized I have messed up and I still have an extra space. So I decided to go ahead and move the tree. But to move a full-grown tree, you need fruit. You can't just dig them up. You have to eat a piece of fruit first. And there's my one of my favorite characters, Gala. I'll have to go and talk to her as soon as I'm done with this video to find out. Hopefully she's not wanting to leave. If she is, I'll just tell her no, because I love Gala and I want her to stay. So now we're going to place the tree, and then I have one spot left, and I decided I'm going to place a lantern. So the next thing I'm going to do is place a few more bushes along the borders, because like I said, I love the hedged look that these bushes give me, and I would love that around my garden. And if I could keep flowers alive, I promise you I would have this in real life, but I can't, so I have it on my Animal Crossing game. But this is definitely my dream garden in my real life. Have you guys done that as well, where you do items or, you know, designs in your Animal Crossing that you can't figure out how to do in real life, but you love it and you're like, oh, I need to do this in real life, or see something in real life and you're like, I need to add that to my game, which I have done as well. I've seen pictures. I'm like, wonder how I could do that. If you have something that you would love, you know, that you've done or anything, and I would love to see, please message me or comment on my post and that, so I can check it out. It'd be awesome to see what everyone else is doing as well. So I had placed on the lantern. I knew I wanted a lantern in that corner, but then I realized that from where I placed that lantern, I can't place anything around it. So I placed one of my bushes right there in that corner. And then I decided to go back down. I'm just kind of thinking on what I want to do now. I grabbed the fencing because, as I said, I'm not going to leave the 2 extra openings that I had made just for the build. So I decided to go ahead and replace that entrance, and I want to add another bush into that spot just to complete that look right there. So the next thing I need to do is I need to start adding my roses to the garden. And with these roses, I didn't want any, you know, precise color scheme spot. I just kind of just threw them in. So whatever roses I had in my pocket to begin with, I just threw in. And then I went back to get the rest of the roses so I can start filling up my rose garden. Okay, everybody, so now that I've got those flowers, I'm going to go over and get some more, like I was saying, and grab the rest of the flowers. But first, I decided to go ahead and add in this other spot since I was right there, and get that fence put back. Those pesky balloons, they always show up when I'm busy doing something and don't have my my slingshot. So I just kind of fast forward through this part as well. Just to show you guys, I'm grabbing all the roses, and as you can see, I can actually fit a lot of roses into this small little section. So it really does give you that whole garden, rose garden feel when you have all those roses. Okay, so now as I'm finishing up all these roses, I will take them over and keep on working on filling up my area of the rose garden. I want the one area completely filled, which you'll see as soon as I'm done. Comment below, what is your favorite flower in the game? As you can see, mine is the roses, and of course the lily of the valley, which is my favorite flower in real life, so I was excited that we do have those. Is there a flower that's not on the game that you guys would love to see? I would love to know that as well. And as we're talking about what you guys love, I want to see your guys' islands. I want everyone to see your guys' islands because I know they are absolutely amazing. So if you have an amazing island that you would love to show off, please message me, let me know. I would love to give you an island tour here on my YouTube channel so other people can see it as well and get some inspiration from your guys' islands. So now I'm just going to keep filling up these. Again, as I said before, there's no specific order or design that I'm going with. I'm just tossing them all in here and filling them up. And now that I have that complete section done, I want to start working on adding them spaces in between all the other decorations that I already have, and just filling up the garden to make it a little bit more full. I realize that I cannot fill anything by that garden lantern, and I'm not sure if I like that, but I did want to go ahead and finish around where I know I can do. So it's easier when you're trying to put things in certain spots instead of just tossing them wherever, to make those holes and then plant the flowers in the holes. So you can see me doing that with those, and then I decide to try again to plant flowers around the lamppost. Again, the garden lantern, it doesn't work. I know I want to have some flowers in front of the waterfall just to give it another, pretty look. And I decided I didn't want the bushes because I thought that would take too much away from the waterfall. So I thought the pretty flowers, roses would, and it just adds some roses to that front instead of making the front look so bare. So again, I tried planting the holes. I wasn't close enough to the other holes, so it went wherever it wanted. So that's why I always try to make sure when I'm doing things I want in specific places, I make those holes. So now I'm back at this lantern trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And it's just not working for me, so I just decided to remove the lantern so I can actually plant a couple of roses there. And then I decided to plant one on that side as well. But I do still love the look of the lantern there in the corner. So then I decide to go ahead and put the lantern back. And now it just looks a little bit fuller. Of course, when I try to put it back, it didn't go in the right position. So I tried pulling it, but then I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be able to go the other way. So I picked it back up. And then I put it back where I wanted it to go. And it still looks like it's in the corner, but now it looks fuller with the roses around it. And no one's going to be in front of the table, so I decided that I would go ahead and place one of my roses right there in front of the table. But first, before I did that, I decided I have a few lanterns left, so I went ahead and I placed lanterns in between some of the bushes and my hedge, just to give it more light at night and to have that light reflecting off of the lake in front of my waterfalls. And if you don't cover up the hole before you put something down, it will bury it. And then you have to dig it back up like you just seen. So then I placed that one. And I decided I wanted one in the corner. But you can't get to that corner unless you pulled up the other one. So I pulled up those two bushes. And then I placed my lantern there in the corner. That way I have two lanterns in each corner of the ending, so when you're on the walk path, you can see them. And as I said, I decided to go ahead and play a little bit more and fill it in more. I decided I needed a walk path right to the chair, so I used the custom design, which again will be in the comments or in the description, so you guys can have that custom design code. I made that path so it's directly to the little sitting table, so it looks like you have the stepping stones to it. And then I just added a couple more roses around just to give it that more sitting in the rose garden feeling. I was going to do in between the stepping stones, but I didn't like the look of it, so I decided no, I'm not going to do that, because I really want those just to be able to have so people can walk through. And that's all I have done for my rose garden. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please remember to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. And please comment below if there's anything that you would love to see or anything that you want to learn that maybe I can help you guys, as I'm learning with you and we can learn together. So thanks for visiting, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye. Have a great day, everybody.